Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your star Scentsy consultant. So today what I have for you is what I hope is just kind of a fun video. It is my favorite mood and mix melts for the middle of the fall. It is smack dab in the middle of October in Scentsyland right now and in my own life, the 16th of October specifically, brick launch day in Scentsyland, and I thought it would be just really nice to kind of go over all these different scents. I tried to make sure that about half of these are currently available in the catalog or as a limited time offer, and then I threw in a few of my favorites that you may have gotten out of a flash sale or that you might have in the Scentsy Club, or maybe you've never heard of them and they'd be great for a bring back my bar. So let's just start with my first category, and I kind of made up categories of all the things that when I wake up in the fall I'm thinking, ooh, today I'm in the mood for, and then just fill in the blank. So of course, at the top of my list is going to be pumpkin scents. And I also tried to categorize these according to, is it mostly pumpkin, mostly apple, mostly bakery, mostly spice, so that they would have some kind of an order. So the very first one is probably our in-catalog most authentic pumpkin-y scent that we offer without a bunch of spices to confuse it, and that is Sweet Farm Stand Pumpkin. This is a very nice bar. It is mellow, it is just gentle. It is primarily pumpkin with some caramel and a little bit of cinnamon, and it is just nice. So if you want a medium level melt in your house where you are really wanting to enjoy a good fall day that's probably crisp and warm and cozy, this is definitely your bar. It is so nice. And then after that, I have one that is more bakery, but I think that it's extremely pumpkin forward also, and that's going to be Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl. To me, this is something that you can melt all year round because of the bakery element, but it really, really smells like a pumpkin cinnamon roll, not just a cinnamon roll. And so there's a cream cheesy, smooth vanilla-ness to this. It has the cinnamon, but again, it's bakery cinnamon. It's not screaming in your face, and it has all of the lovely pumpkin. It's just gorgeous. So these two, honestly, if I was going to recommend something that would be giftable, both of these are really, really good. After that, I have one that is limited time offer for us currently, and it is a little bit less probably all crowd pleaser friendly, but Forever Fall is pumpkin with brown sugar. You cannot miss that this is a pumpkin bar. It's so just deep and to me very delicious because the golden brown sugariness of this is very fall bakery. It almost borders a little bit on maple or butterscotch to me, and it's got some cinnamon. And it's got definite canned pumpkin, but in the nicest way. I really, really like this. And then one that you would have to have in your club if you were still enjoying it is called Cozy Vanilla and Pumpkin. And this one is almost equal parts pumpkin and the lovely vanilla. And it has a little bit of spice, almost something like an anise or kind of a deep and more exotic spice than just cinnamon or nutmeg or ginger. It's very good. I regret taking this out of my club. This is perfect for a rainy day where you want a cup of tea and a cuddly blanket. So then the next thing that I wanted to talk about was apple. And apple, I really don't feel, except for Johnny Appleseed, which we have all year round, that we have just an apple forward plain apple for fall. So the closest thing that I could come up with was cider mill, and I really enjoy this. It's pretty much equal parts apple and pumpkin with a little bit of spice, but I do feel that it's more apple than anything. And it is smooth. It is just delightful, and it is quintessentially fall. And if you're only going to have a couple of bars that you order, I would say please put this in your 6-pack or your 3-pack because it is the best. And one that is very similar, and if you have a Scentsy Club, you can get this, or if you like a very fancy warmer plus brick combination, you can get this on the website right now with the Jack's Obsession brick and then the Nightmare Before Christmas 30th anniversary warmer, Jack's Obsession, which is really truly apple. Nice apple cider, but it's all apple. There's no pumpkin in this, and just a pinch of clove. So this one, maybe currently, because it's an LTO, is our most authentically appley scent if that's all that you want and you don't want a Mac apple or something that's all year round. Now I have a couple here that are retired that are so good if you have these in your club. Orchard Apple and Spice. Oh, you guys, I love this bar. This is an apple bar, and then it's got a little bit of cherry and a little bit of wood, and I melt this a lot. I don't have it in my club anymore, but I have a very big stack. sitting in my basement, and I need to do a couple more bars of this year. It is just fantastic. If you see this in a flash sale or down the road for Bring Back My Bar, it is worth voting back. And then the one that got away from me this year because I didn't club it because I thought it was coming back, Wonderful Bright Cider Life. And again, this is more of an apple cider bar than it is just apple. But I think that its personality is more apple juice and cider with a lot of wonderful nuanced layers than it is anything else. It's more apple than it is spice. It's more apple than it is anything, bakery. But it's really, really good. And I always say it's like a little kid holding their cup of apple cider and their donut is crumbling into it. And that's the smell you get. Their wonderful cinnamon sugar donut. It is so good, you guys. So those are my apple suggestions. And they're the things that I will wake up and just dig through my collection to melt. Next, I have Woodsy. And the top bar that I'm always reaching for, that I'm pretty much always in the mood to melt, is cedar cider. And this has cedar, it has red apple, and it has spices and vanilla bean. This bar is so good. And if you want woodsiness, but just something that's not quite funky or too fresh, this is it. This is just the perfect bar. It's good and strong too. Of all the bars I've talked about so far, this is the strongest. Very long lasting, excellent Scentsy classic, and I don't think you can do better if you're in a woodsy mood. Unless, of course, you want wood and smoke. So Around the Campfire is another one that we have right now that I love. And this is also one of my top mixers of all time. So this is sweet and smoky. Like yesterday, alternate warmers, I did this with cashmere leaves, which is another one we'll talk about in this giant pile that's here on my table today. So this is wood and sweet smoke and sap. Like those wonderful embers at the end of a campfire that haven't gone cold yet. Just smoldery, gorgeous goodness. And you can put that with just about anything else that's spice or maybe something that's tree or even something bakery sometimes is really good with that. And then another one that sort of marries a lot of very unique notes that's an LTO in our harvest bundle is white pumpkin and driftwood. This is a woodsy bar with a twist. So this has cardamom. So it is woods forward, but it also has the spice. It's got driftwood and it's got white pumpkin. Fascinating bar. Really, really nice. Good powerhouse, strong kind of a scent, and definitely in the woodsy category, and I want that. It's a craveable bar. Next I have Warm and Toasty, because I was having a really hard time with certain bars. I didn't want huge piles that's just woods or just fruity, because I think that's kind of generic, and I can micromanage all the piles that I have here. I don't have to put them in a catalog, right? So the one that is currently available that to me is warm, round, roasty, toasty, and also very fall is Maple Apple Bourbon. And this, like cedar cider, is a gangbuster performer. This is red delicious apple, wonderful bourbon, and maple. Kind of that oaky bourbon. Oh gosh, I need to melt this probably maybe even later today. This would be my first melt of the year because we've had a little bit more gentle fall here in Michigan this year, and our trees are still mostly green. It's October 16th. Usually everything is red and orange and it's falling off the trees by now. It's so weird. But anyway, this is a bar that crisp cold weather makes me want to melt, and that's when I'm in the mood. But anytime in the fall, I am ready for this. And another one that is similar, but yet it's totally different. This bar is in our Harvest 5-pack. I want to say trio because we've had trios for years. And I can say it's very hard to categorize this. Cashmere leaves, it's warm and smoldery, but it also smells like a baked apple, and it also smells like spices, and it smells like a whole bunch of things. It's very layered and nuanced. It is a very unique bar. If you haven't tried anything that's new this year, please try Cashmere leaves. It is worth the gamble. It's really good. So this has a sweet baked apple, almost applesauce a little bit, or like those spiced apple rings that you could get in a jar when I was a kid. Those were always on buffets in town. You know, you'd go down the salad line and there'd be these weird pink rings of apple, but they were so good. This reminds me of that. And then it has this crunchy leaves and spice. And in the description it's called cashmere spice. I'm not sure why. Cashmere with a K, not cashmere like a cashmere sweater. More like Indian. And it is just the most intriguing bar. It melts sweet, but complex. I could just go on and on about this. So you guys have really got to try cashmere leaves. It's amazing. Then I have, then I have things flying all over the place off of my table. Then I have one that did retire as of last season, and that is Toasted Acorn and Oak. This one's in my club, but oh, you want to talk about roasty, toasty fall goodness. This has oak, it's got creamy chestnut, it is nutty, it is woody, it's absolutely delectable. I love doing this in alternate warmers with maple apple bourbon. I love it with autumn blaze maple. Pretty much anything that's got fruit or wood and pumpkins and a sweetness goes amazingly with this. So this is a bar I could melt by itself, but most of the time I do prefer to have something else going in the house too. It is great as second fiddle, and it just makes the home very warm and welcoming. It is an amazing bar. I'm kind of sad that they took it out of the catalog, but at least I have it in my club. And another one that I wanted to put right between the apple and the roasty toasty is Hemingway. This is an amazing apple, wood, and almost cologne, but not quite spice bar that's very masculine. But it's so warm and it's so, so good, you guys. This was in the Bring Back My Bar this July or June. I sure hope you picked some up because this is an incredible scent for fall and very, very much a mood melt for me. Now the next pile is spice, and I behaved myself. I've only got a total of 5 dedicated spice bars here because we are talking about fall. I'll have more of them if I do one of these videos for winter. So the 2 that are in the catalog that I think you think spicy more than anything else, clove and cinnamon, obviously. And this one really straddles fall and winter. Cinnamon bear is amazing too, but I will put that in a winter video. Oh, clove and cinnamon just makes me so happy. It is so deep with the spices. It's warm, it's rich. You only need a couple of cubes and it'll go for days. It just is the best fall craveable spice bar ever. And then this one, I was having trouble pegging Autumn Hearth. We say it's an apple cinnamon scent, but it's also very spicy and it is very complex. And I get just as much cinnamon as I do apple, so I wanted to put it in spice. And it is so good if you want something that's very hearth and home and pretty company friendly after that first hour where the tonka bean can be a little bit odd sometimes. This is so good, you guys. If you have not tried it and you're afraid of cinnamon, this one might pass the test because it's not too aggressive. It's very, very good. Then I have 3 that are in my club, and these are classics. So one of them, that one bar, it's a bar I don't really like anyway. I just knew I needed to talk about it because most of the rest of you like it. Kind of funny. This is Mandarin Moon, not the bar that I'm keep knocking off with the cuff of my shirt here. Mandarin Moon, excellent, excellent bar. This was in a Bring Back My Bar a couple Januaries ago. This is fall orange harvest spices at their best. So it is predominantly spicy with an orange, really it's like half and half, spicy orange cider. This is so beautiful, very strong. You can melt a couple cubes of this, it'll fill most of your house. Good bang for your buck. I hope that some of you still have it in your club. If you don't, we have a new brick that is called Orange Spice and Everything Nice. It's nowhere near as spicy as this, but it'll still give you that orange and clove and cinnamon. And then the other one, the new one, is heavy on the vanilla bean. It'll give you the fix, but I like this one the best. And then I have 2 more here that I think spice and I think fall. Cozy Chai is one of my all-time favorite bars. This is almost bordering on gingerbread with the richness of its chai spices. And there is caramel in here, and it is just amazing. And this is a saturated heavy scent. This one's in my club. Absolutely fantastic. And then the last one that's in this pile, this is one of the scents that I think of when I think Thanksgiving. This was Harvest Trio a couple years ago, and it is called Cranberry Pumpkin Spice. Now this I almost put in the pumpkin pile, and I almost put it in another pile because it is all the things. It's wonderful, almost creamy pumpkin. It's got lovely spices, definitely cinnamon, and then probably nutmeg and maybe some allspice, and beautiful cranberries, and they're all blended so perfectly that it's really hard to put this in a specific pile. But it is fall, and it is lovely, and I hope that some of you have experienced this at one point because I think this is a bar that we need to get back and Bring Back My Bar eventually. It is so good. Next category is what I would call the bright and glorious fall day pile. The one where you wake up and all the trees have turned, it's crisp outside, and it's just bright and beautiful, and you want to bring that outdoors in. So This year, I have to say, since he's been getting pretty busy bringing us that, usually we don't have this many in one catalog that I think fit that type of category, and the one that I keep knocking off is First Day of Fall. I think this is a perfect outdoorsy, crisp woods fall day, go to the pumpkin patch kind of a smell. It's just not my favorite of the bunch. But this one has a golden woods, and it's got fresh pumpkin and definitely nutmeg. It's definitely nutmeg heavy. Really, really good bar and very popular. The next one, which is my favorite in this category, is Autumn Road Trip. This you can have in all the things, and I will be happy for forever and forever. This smells like that beautiful panorama of gorgeous orange, red, and yellow leaves with the clear blue sky and the beautiful crisp air. This has a silver oak, Anjou pear, and apple. And it's got just a little bit of woodsy funk, and it's fabulous. Absolutely perfect. One of the top 5 bars on this whole table if you're really going to capture fall in a day. Another one that is new this year, where I would say this is as the weather is turning to think about winter, is Golden Garland. This is very similar to Autumn Road Trip, just no apple. It's got pine, it's got orange twist, marigold petals, and I think some musk. But this also captures the outdoorsy essence, but pushing more toward November, December, with maybe a few fading mums outside, and the oak trees that still have the brown leaves, and you're starting to see the evergreens through all the other trees where the leaves have gone to the forest floor. Beautiful bar, you guys. Totally that bright, crisp autumn day. And then the last one that is new and current is Fall Feelin'. Now, I was so excited about this bar when it first came out. It has sat for a couple months. I still really like it, but it has gotten quite sharp and very assertive. So I will be melting less in warmers than I thought. I put a whole bar of this in my house. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday. And even for me, it was very strong. So the juniper and the blood orange in here have gotten bossy as it sat for a couple of months. But man, if you want to capture that crisp walking in the woods feeling, get some fall feeling. It's amazing and very, very classic. So then there is one that is in my club that's a little bit sweeter than the rest of them, but I also consider this one of those bright, glorious peak of autumn day scents, and that is Autumn Blaze Maple. This has the maple and the woodiness in with the pumpkins. And it is gorgeous. This is another one that for me personally would make probably my top 5, definitely my top 10 of all the fall scents Scentsy has ever made to capture. Oh, I miss this so much. We just got this back and bring back my bar this summer. Oh, I've wanted this bar back. It is quintessential glorious autumn. Even the color. This is the color of the golden leaves at peak season, driving when we go up north sometimes in the fall. It is just so, so lovely. Oh, so good. Anyway, so those are kind of the initial, most fall type categories, and I thought that would be fun. Now let's talk about bakery. Let's talk about super fresh, and then some cuddly, cozy scents and some other things. So when we think about bakery, right now we're a little bit bakery challenged in Scentsy Land, but it's getting better as LTOs are coming out. So we have, in current catalog, I think the best bakery bar that is fall appropriate is Pumpkin Roll. And Pumpkin Roll comes currently in a brick in catalog. This is one of my favorite things that they did this year, you guys. I'm so excited about it. And I honestly think that for this particular scent, typically as consultants we tell you get the bars and not the brick because the bars are better. I think this brick has more consistency of scent than some of the bars that I get where I don't get enough Pumpkin Roll. I put this in the warmer the other day, and my husband came in and said, "Oh, what is that smell? It smells like Thanksgiving," and I love it. And it was my brick of Pumpkin Roll. I think I'm going to get another brick form of this so that I know that I'm going to get all the layered notes that are in this, because it's got pecans, it's got yellow cake, and then it has the cake filling and all the pumpkin, like batter spices. And sometimes when I get a bar of this, I get like half of those notes, and it always disappoints me. This was exactly how it's supposed to be, and I'm so excited to get more. So then another thing that's bakery that is current as of right now, because I'm recording this after 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the 16th, is Cozy Kitchen. This is an all-year bakery scent, yes, but they just released it and is darn good for fall. So this has oats. It's got a really nice, sweet, creamy, just a quality that's somewhere between milk and caramel. It's got some cinnamon swirl, Oh gosh, you guys, it is so stinking good. So both of these, you can get yourself a brick and then just have absolutely perfect fall bakery glory in your house. But if you don't want to do those, and you don't want to have to deal with either the brick size or going to Scentsy Club, another one that's very good right now that I do think is very fall appropriate is cran apple crumble. Now this is very different. It doesn't have that creamy bakery quality that most of the other bakery bars we're going to talk about has, but this is really good. So it's got the cranberry and the apple, some allspice, some brown sugar, and some whipped cream. And it is really nice and comfy cozy and very good. With that cranberry apple, it's a little bit brighter, and I think it's the best newer bakery bar we've got. Now, my favorite all-time bakery scent that is definitely fall appropriate, that people are always sad about because you can't get it right now, is apple butter frosting. But I also wanted to talk about a limited time offer that, although it's a different scent profile, it gives you the same cuddly cozy factor. And that is the 3 Thumbs Up bar. This is still available as I'm recording this. Apple butter frosting is sweeter and it's all apple, but that same creamy bakery goodness in pumpkin bread is available in this. So I wanted to kind of put those two together so that you understood that there are possibilities if you're mourning your apple butter frosting to still kind of get a bakery fix. But oh man, if you have apple butter frosting, it's in your club like mine is 2 bi-monthly. This is the peak bakery bar of fall, although I will melt this one all year. It's got this creamy apple, this gorgeous frosting, the right amount of spices. It's almost cloyingly sweet, really a boomer in the house. It's fabulous. But today I am warming the 3 Thumbs Up Haunted Mansion bar. This is pumpkin quick bread with frosting to me. Some people get more like a bread note. I do not get that. I just get kind of a softened version with pumpkin of the beauty of apple butter frosting. And I think that that's why I love it so much. It's so homey. It throws very well. It's not quite the boomer that apple butter frosting is, but it's a good solid medium and it goes for a long time in my house. And it's also that same beautiful creamy color. This is a bar to try and it's still available. They launched it in August, so please try this. You can throw that in your club and I believe you can still put it in a 6-pack or just get it on the website. Now, a subcategory that I really enjoy in the fall of bakery is the caramel and toffee type scent. They have made tons of them over the years. So the one that is currently available is salted caramel toffee. This is a very good bar. I do think it's craveable for fall. It's really good mixed with all sorts of other things. My favorite thing to mix this with is coffee, but it's good with a lot of other stuff too. And this just has a nice, mellow, middle-of-the-road personality. When you do not want all the spice in the pumpkin or the apple, but you still want bakery sweet, the salted caramel toffee is perfect. So this is slightly saltier than some of our other caramels over the years, and it has enough body to be there. It's not like the one that we had in our Scentspirations last year, which I loved. The caramel vanilla bean buttercream scent from Scentspirations was one of my favorite caramels of all time that I have smelled from Scentsy, but it doesn't throw. This throws much better than that. But the one that takes the cake for me is Toffee Butter Crunch. Now, I was a silly girl, and over the summer, in a panic, I took this out of my club. Bad idea. Thankfully, my mother-in-law still has it in hers. So I begged a couple off of her for my birthday in September. This is the best toffee caramel scent we've ever come up with, in my opinion. This lasts the longest. It is extremely rich because it's got the toffee and some walnut, which gives it more staying power than just a plain coffee or a plain toffee scent. So good. So I wanted to talk about those separate from the regular bakery bars. Now, we can turn a corner here and go into a very specific moody kind of smell where you add deep, dark berries to things. And you can go really spicy and warm with that. You can go very sophisticated. And there are 2 of them in our current catalog that are on either end of that particular spectrum that I think are worth mentioning. Blackberry spice. There's no pumpkin. I don't think there's apple. There might be a little bit of apple in the background of this, but this is primarily a blackberry scent with cedar and then some spices. This is a great middle of the fall hearth and home smell. So company friendly. It just fills your house, but not to a point where it's choking or anything. It is just gorgeous. And then if you don't like the spice and the cedar, another thing that has really dark berries and things is black currant and plum. This is a classy bar and nobody talks about it. This has a little bit of wood in the background and just a really nice, tailored, elegant, sophisticated fall smell that is dark and it's elegant. But the queen of that grouping is absolutely Ghostly Greetings. This is not in my club. I have a few from, I think, the last Bring Back My Bar plus flash sales. This was a September scent of the month a while ago. People didn't love it. They either hated it or... Okay, I want to say it this way. They didn't like it. They either loved it or they hated it. That's what I'm trying to say. This is so dark. This has the soul of a dark and stormy night in October or November. It's got patchouli. I think it has bourbon. It's got these deep, deep berries. It's gorgeous. Really strong. It's a powerhouse, and it's definitely the right thing for certain nights in October, like the evening that the mist rolls in and you know that you're just going to be sitting in for an interesting night at home. This is your bar. That's when you watch Scooby-Doo, or at least when I was a kid. Then the next thing that we have here is a bunch of fresh bars. I don't want to say a bunch. I picked a couple. I have a hard time with fresh and fall. If you can't tell, I don't do a lot of that. But there's one in our catalog that I love, and that is Eucalyptus Wreath. And this one kind of straddles fall and winter, but it's good. So this has mint, it's got juniper, and it has a little bit of, what is it, mint, juniper, and there's one more note that is escaping me. But it's very bordering on icy, but very, very fresh. Eucalyptus, that's the other thing that's in here. And don't let the eucalyptus scare you. It's just beautiful. You know how seeded eucalyptus was all over the place in the decor world a few years ago? Like, this was the thing that inspired that, I'm thinking, like, back and forth. You look at the thing of seeded eucalyptus that's up on the Christmas mantle, and you're going to come up with this smell. It's just so good. So then another one that was in Bring Back My Bar recently, that this is the fresh fall powerhouse of all time, is Painted Leaves. Now, I don't do Painted Leaves very well by itself. I've got a mix I'm going to read you at the end of the video that's how I usually use it. But this is Scentsi's classic fall fresh bar. It's got blue spruce, it's got golden woods, it is sharp, it is crisp, it is clean. And the other bars that I was telling you about, where that's like the middle glory of fall, this is pushing towards winter, where you're seeing all of the evergreen trees emerging through the forest. And it is just gorgeous. It's a classic. You have to talk about that. But then if you want to go fresh, more laundry and elegant and cuddly, White Amber and Silk is also in her catalog. This is a totally different kind of fresh smell. This is elegant. This just makes me think Southern lady's boudoir or her dressing room, something very sophisticated and gorgeous. It's got the amber, it's got the cotton, it's got the silk. It is gorgeous, you guys. You have to try that. And nice and strong. So then if you want to transition into a little bit less aggressive scents that maybe you want to put in a bedroom, or you just want a low-key day, there is a really interesting bar that we sell called Scarlet Sunflower that I don't talk about a lot. This is the best fall floral I think we've ever invented. It's great in a bedroom because it doesn't throw at a strong high level. It's kind of a lower roller, and it is pretty mellow. So it's got the sunflower note, it has cranberry, and it has apple. It's very elegant and beautiful. This would actually be a very nice scent if you had a Thanksgiving gathering and you didn't want pumpkin or apple or something that was really overpowering. This is really nice. So then the next one that's available that is the classic cozy scent for the bedroom is Cozy Cardigan. And I do love this bar. It's been around for years now. I remember when it first came out, this was so popular, and it should stay popular because it is one of Scentsi's best. So it's got amber suede, blushing rose, and a silk kind of a thing. Oh, you guys. It's elegant. It's cozy. The white amber and silk is a little sharper. This is just gorgeous. I really enjoy this in all the body line. They've discontinued most, if not all of that, and I have a lot of it saved. It's very good. And then its cousin, which hasn't been around for forever, and it's in my club, is Cozy Cashmere. And this is a cozy, pushing towards winter kind of a smell. This has musk, it's got cashmere, and it's got blackberries, and it is so deliciously cuddly, you guys. Oh, it's wonderful. This is a bar I would love to see back again and Bring Back My Bar. It's definitely worth mentioning. So then I realized we have a whole bunch, either current or past scents, that are complex with vanilla. Some of them are more bedroom appropriate and some of them are more open space appropriate. So two that are in our catalog right now that sometimes I just get up and I will have a craving for them. One is brand new, so I haven't had a lot of time to get a craving for it, but I know Dashing, which is kind of the standout bar of the season, will be one of those bars in the future. So this has mahogany, really nice creamy vanilla, and sort of a midnight sky fresh smell. This is a very sophisticated and cozy bar, and you could put it in a small space. You could do this in a medium zone with enough cubes. It would just be at a lower level, but it is so good and unique. And then another one that was new last year that I think is actually a little stronger is Velvet Moon, and this is a very interesting scent. This one has foggy mist and vanilla flower, and I feel like it smells like a pair of blue suede shoes should. Oh, you guys, this is so different. It's so good. And this is another cozy fall scent, but just not anything like your typical apple, pumpkin, and spice. One of the better ones that Scentsi's come up with lately, and I rarely melt it, so I wanted to mention it here. If you want some vanilla and some sophistication in your fall, get this. It's really good. And then two that are a little heavier hitting, that have vanilla in them, but they're mostly more woody. One that is currently available, which is a rock star that we have, is Cashmere and Corduroy, Sicilian Bergamot and Vanilla, and there's some sort of like a musky cashmere note too. Oh, wow. I don't even know how to describe this. You have to try it for yourself. It is so nice, and it is full-bodied. It would be great September, October, November, December, anytime when it's cold. Excellent bar. And then one that is retired, that is, I call this my hippie scent. This is called Hendrix. This has all of the richness of cashmere and corduroy, and then you add extra notes. This is sweeter. It's got patchouli. It's got pink peppercorn. It's got vanilla. It's got tobacco. It is so good, you guys. I've been waiting for years for this to come back and bring back my bar, and it's in my quarterly. Sometimes I'm tempted to take it out, but I just cannot. It is so good. And it is vanilla based, but it's definitely a rich and fantastic for late fall and early winter kind of a bar. All right, next we have some more masculine things. And this is the only one that so far has been around for 12 months in the catalog. I tried to keep everything here very fall winter specific, but White Amber Antique, I'm sorry guys, this is my favorite masculine smell. My husband loves it, and it's so rich, and this is a really good bar for almost winter, like late fall, early winter. It makes me think of a really sophisticated magazine spread where you have, you know, kind of the ski chalet and everything is ultra modern, and this is what I think that would smell like. So good, you guys. And then two that are similar, that are currently in our bundle, that is Open Plains. Two of those I really like, and they are here. It's very similar to White Amber Antique, so if you don't like that, don't get this. Hometown Cowboy. I'm going to put this in my club. I think I already did. This is so good, you guys. It is a suede masculine, but it's very appropriate for fall, kind of a leather smell. My husband loves this, and it just has, I think it's got mahogany. It's not as dark as the description made you think it would be. We fell so hard for this last week. It is totally going to be a family favorite. And then my older daughter liked Under the Oak Tree, which is in the same collection. This has apple with a lot of the mahogany and the leather. And this is really good. And this, I think, is very fall, like a fall fresh leathery scent. Like you went to a barn in the fall and they had a big old thing of apples and hay and all that at the front. It is so good, you guys. You have to try these. If you don't want the whole bundle, because personally the other two ended up kind of not being my thing, some people love them, you could get some of these in your Scentsy Club. So good. So that was my like masculine pile. And then last but not least, I have transitioned to winter, where this whole pile, these are things that push a little bit winter, a little bit Christmassy, but sometimes at the end of fall you start to crave that. So Cinnamon Pine Cones was our December scent of the month last year, and it is admittedly Christmassy, but I'll melt this in November or right around Halloween if I start getting an itch. You guys, this is so good. It's got cinnamon, it's got pine cones, it has a nice woodsiness, it has some probably pine or spruce, like sappy, oh, perfect Christmassy, but could be good at the end of the fall kind of smells. It is excellent, and I will be melting that all through to from early November all the way through till January. Then my favorite bar to transition between fall and winter is Rustic Lodge. You guys, I just got this back and bring back my bar. I promise I'll never take it out of my club ever again. You help me vote it back. Oh, this makes me so happy. This has pine, and it's got oak moss, and it's got crunchy leaves, and it's got wood smoke, and it's got cabin. Can you tell I like this bar? It is so phenomenally amazing. This would be good with toasted acorn and oak. It would be good with autumn blaze maple. It'd be good with golden garland. I mean, but it pushes things winter because there's definitely a tree or pine smell here, but it's not like Christmas tree. It's just woodsy. It's so good. Then another one that I got in actually clearance, I think they snuck these guys into clearance a couple months ago. Candied cranberry pecan. This one leans very Thanksgiving, but you can still get away with melting this in the fall. It's got a brandied plum swirl in with pecans and cranberries, and it just makes me think November. It is gorgeous. I have a few. I think I bought 5 because I have so much wax. One bar, like one smell. I'm not going to melt that many bars of almost anything, but this one is so nice. And then currently we have Fall Into Love in our Harvest 5 bar pack this time. You can get it separately. This is an interesting bar. The last time I melted it, it leaned a little bit nail polish for me, but this has a really nice mixture of fall leaning into winter scents in it. It's got some orange, it's got some pine balsam type stuff, and it's just really pleasant. So I wanted to put this out there that if you haven't tried it, this would be a good one to order now and use up in November. And then this also showed up in clearance recently, and it's called Holly Berry Cinnamon, and it does lean Christmas, and it's got kind of like a smoky, suede holly berry scent, and it's so nice for November. So this one I would melt right around Thanksgiving, so that's the end of the fall. So that is everything that was on my table as far as specifics, like these are the ones that I get in the mood to melt, and I have a very extensive collection, so these are kind of the cream of the crop for me. And then I do have a few mix ideas. So my direct mixing around the campfire and painted leaves is my top direct mix. You have to try this if you have these, you guys. You just have to. These two together make the most phenomenal mid-fall smell ever. I just love them. Another one is going to be, and this is really interesting, is going to be Hemingway, if you have it, and a new bar that all by itself, I think it needs to cure for me, Midnight Mahogany. But these two together create the most amazing, complex, woody fall smell you've ever smelled. This is one I'm going to try again now that it's had time by itself. It's got plum leaf, it's got mahogany, and some cinnamon, but it's kind of subtle. But you add that to Hemingway, and Hemingway gets deeper, it gets more mellow, it gets super rich. This is incredible. And then the next one on my list is going to be, if cedar cider's a little much for you, I always tell you to mix it with vanilla bean buttercream, but I never show you this. Do these two together, and it mellows out the cedar cider, because there is vanilla bean in cedar cider. And it just gives you the creamiest, smoothest, most luxurious middle of the fall feel you're ever going to get. And then last but not least, this one is admittedly pushing into Christmas territory, but I discovered this right around Christmas last year, and I was kind of sad that I didn't have more time to melt it. Cinnamon pine cones, 1 cube to 1 cube with very snowy spruce. You will lose your mind. This is the most classic Christmas smell, and you can start melting it in November. It's incredible. You have to try this, you guys. And these are both currently available. So that is pretty much everything that I've got here on my table. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And then I did have a couple of ideas for alternate warmer mixing. So that means that like you'd put one scent here, and then you'd put another scent in a warmer across the room, and then it just mixes in the air. So Autumn Blaze Maple and Toasted Acorn and Oak is one of my favorite winners of all time. Then we've got Autumn Road Trip, and this next pairing is currently available. Autumn Road Trip and Scarlet Sunflower. That is a crisp, glorious fall day in the house. Forever Fall and Sugar Cookie. Forever Fall is one of our LTOs, and Sugar Cookie you can still get as a brick in club. That really balances out the squashiness of the Forever Fall if it's a little too much for you, but you still like it. Farm Stand Pumpkin and Pumpkin Cashmere, those two are so balanced and they're very similar, and they really make a nice mid-level fall day in the house. And last but not least, I've got Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl and our Frosted Cinnamon Roll. Now you might think, why would I do those two in the house? Because they're so similar. Well, the reason is because I felt like when you did these two together, it really allowed you to smell more of the pumpkin in Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl, And then when you would go to the other room and you would smell frosted cinnamon roll, you really appreciated that as more of like a sweet caramel frosted cinnamon roll kind of a scent. So this is Elizabeth with Elizabeth Seeds and Scents. I hope that you enjoyed my mood and melt mixing middle of the fall kind of a video, and you guys have an amazing day. I think I've used up all my words for the week. Have a good day, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.